Hello, Carl here with Sustainability Theory News. We're at Regrarians.org, and they are some permaculture consultants that take a little bit different approach. They do focus on a holistic management, sort of a grassroots management of the system, but they're also business focused, and they do consult people on how to make profitable permaculture farms. And they also take a lot of their design cues from Yoeman's, P.A. Yoeman's. He's an Australian, as are they, and he came up with some great methods of keyline garden or keyline farming. Now, what the key is to follow the contours of the land with a chisel plow. That's what you see here. And this is going downhill here, and as water hits the land, it gets stopped in these little channels. When you use the chisel plow, it's also recommended that you use a compost tea to inoculate it with beneficial fungi and bacteria. But let's go to a picture of P.A. Yeoman's. You can see here's the high point, and it just goes down here. As it goes downhill, they plant some tree crops and other things to help catch the water even more. Or you could use keyline ponds, have the ponds at a higher elevation, thus giving you a little bit of natural water pressure, so it catches the water and prevents it from just running off. This is a very innovative system. It's been used in Australia for decades, and with great success as well. But with the Regrarians, they also break it down a little bit further. P.A. Yeoman's always talked about how buildings and roads or access are the two things you can't really change on the property. Or if you can, it's very, very difficult and expensive. But of course, the people at Regrarians, it's a husband, wife, and their daughter, they talk about starting first with climate, understanding the different climatic events on your property, the seasons, when the first and the last frost date are, what kind of plant hardiness zones is it in? What kind of plants will thrive in your climate? Then geography. Find out the pitch of the land, the types of soil, and all the other physical elements of the land. Water. How does water move across your property? Are you going to need to have some sort of pressurized water system? Or can you use keyline management to have natural ponds and building the soil up stronger so it retains more water? Access. What kind of roads and access will you need? Are you going to be using an ATV with a little trailer for a lot of your harvesting? Maybe not, especially if you're trying to harvest a whole lot of things. You might need to get a truck through. So you might certainly plan your access routes before you start laying everything out. Forestry. Now this is what a lot of permaculture design technicians or consultants really focus on, is the food forest, the 7 or 9 different layers, however you want to do it, of the food forest. All the way from the roots to the tops of the tall trees and everything in between, herbaceous trees, shrubs, short trees, vines, the water layer, that sort of thing. Then the next buildings, we want to get those situated usually near the middle of the property with the most time-intensive crops directly associated around the buildings. Fencing. Maybe it's a natural fencing. Maybe you're going to use willow trees and weave them together to make a simple fence. Maybe you're going to build trees for fence posts. Locusts are a great tree for that, for example. And then soils. As they say, easily destroyed, but also easily created. You want to, pictured here is the chisel plow, but you want to have plants that have some deep roots, and as animals come and forage on those plants, if you, for instance, pruned or had an animal eat the top 50% of the plant, then 50% of the roots will usually die off as well. That will increase the, vegetative manure or organic matter, however you want to say it, in the soil, and thus breeding a better environment for the beneficial soil fungi. All right, economy. Never been easy to access markets, so how are you going to sell these goods? Maybe it's just for yourself, but if you want to build a profitable permaculture farm, then you're going to have to find out who's going to buy my goods. Maybe it's on the internet, maybe it's at farmers markets, maybe a combination of both. Maybe you want to build relationships with chefs or produce managers at grocery stores. But if you're a permaculturist, you're going to have a whole lot of different variety. Grocery stores might not be the best avenue for that. That's mostly for consumers who are looking for specific items, and common items at that. Chefs might be a better option, or farmers markets for people who are very unique and looking for those unique foods. And lastly, energy. Most of the energy comes from the sun. How are you going to capture that? Maybe using solar panels, maybe just using plants. Have the plants grow up, then put them in a biodigester, have them break down, burn methane for energy, and then you get compost to boot. There's lots of different options, but this is a pretty good way to approach designing your permaculture farm. I'm going to link to their homepage here, as well as a page they link to at the bottom on P.A. Yoeman and some of his work as well on Keyline Design. So I'll link to these two pages in the description. If you'd like to see more news headlines like this, subscribe to my channel. Have a great day.